Live from Orlando, Florida, you're now listening to the OZone Podcast, the voice of Orlando Magic fans. Join us every week for a unique fan perspective on all of the latest Magic news and updates. The show starts now.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the OZone Podcast, brought to you by DraftKings and part of the Basketball Podcast Network. We're your hosts, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is February 4th, which means we are 6 days away from the legendary NBA trade deadline. What's up, Al?
What's going on, man? Can't believe we're only a week away from the deadline.
Are you expecting noise? Are you expecting for the 10th to be something where, yeah, the Magic got to make a move? We're not expecting for, a complete haul off like we did last season, but we're expecting moves, right?
Something's happening. I think you'll see at least, even if it's at least one of Gary Harris or Terrence Ross being moved, at least that. I don't think much more than that, but then again, you never know with this Orlando Magic front office.
Absolutely. So we're still hearing the same talks, the Terrence Ross, the Gary Harris, more kind of fan speculation of Mo Bamba, but there's really no telling, right? And I feel like this time around is a little more quieter. Normally we hear things from the agents, the other teams. Never hear anything from our front office, but from that side, we normally hear more things than what we've heard so far. So that's going to be interesting. February 10th, definitely the day to circle on your calendar. And I can't believe we're already right there, man. We're so close.
Can't believe it, man. And then after this, we start counting down to the lottery. So hey, it's back to last year. If you remember, if you were listening back to us last year, it just becomes a countdown all of a sudden. You're counting down to the trade deadline, then you're counting down to the lottery, then you're counting down to the draft. And next thing you know, we're at the draft, we're at Summer League, and we're back to next season all over again. So it's exciting. A lot of things are going to happen. We're just hoping that, again, we make the right moves, the right decisions over the next few months, and it all pays off because we're ready to see this team winning and not only doing it for 1 week, but doing it, hopefully, for an entire season.
Absolutely. And ironically, this is episode number 99, which means by the NBA trade deadline, we'll really be hitting our 100th episode. And we want to talk to you guys real quick about what we plan on giving away. We kind of, made hints here and there of us kind of coming up with ideas, but we finally, kind of put some things in stone. So, Al, you want to go over the giveaways?
Yes, sir. So we're going to be doing actually 3 giveaways to celebrate our 100th episode. Again, we are so thankful that you guys have given us a chance to do what we do. Again, we started doing this for fun, and it's hard to believe that it's been 100 episodes already. To celebrate, we're going to give 3 winners, 3 different prizes. So we're going to have 3 different prizes again that we're going to be giving out. Prize number 1 will be either Janis Suggs or Franz Wagner jersey of your choice. White one, blue one, orange one. We'll let you guys decide, whoever wins. Number 2 is going to be 2 tickets to an upcoming Orlando Magic game, lower bowl seats. And number 3, the chance to join us on an episode on the podcast as our featured guest. So we'll put you right in the middle of the podcast. We'll talk Magic basketball, get to know you and why you became a Magic fan. So we've gotten that request multiple times. People wanting to join us on the show. We're like, hey, this could be a nice, cool way to kind of celebrate with one of the Magic fans that listen to us each and every week. So what we're asking you guys to do is to come into this episode, number 99, and simply reply on YouTube. So if you're listening to this, we appreciate it. Please go on our social media accounts, click on our YouTube video, and simply go in and reply 100. That's 100. All you have to do. 100. We're going to pick 3 random winners on our 100th episode. So we're going to announce it next week. So that's all we're asking for. Nice and easy. Again, go into our YouTube channel, click on our episode 99, reply 100. And while you're there, might as well subscribe and like the video. That's you're there already.
Why not? Why not? Why not? I think that the third place might be like the best prize. Getting a chance to get on the episode with us, chop it up, talk a little Magic basketball. Just whoever wins that place, make sure you're ready. Some hot takes. Hopefully, it's a diehard Magic fan, so we can really hear the roots and kind of how you became a Magic fan. But hopefully, it's a different story than ours. I don't like Al's story.
The cool thing is that we'll have the trade deadline kind of happening before that. So we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll talk about the draft coming up. We'll talk about the lottery, but also what took place in the trade deadline and how we're feeling heading into, next season. So a lot to look forward to. So again, be on the lookout for that. We'll be posting all these things on social media as well over the next few days. We'll keep retweeting it and reposting on Instagram. So again, take advantage of this. It's a nice little way to celebrate our 100th episode with us. So again, get yourself a jersey, get yourself tickets to an upcoming game, or join us on the podcast.
YouTube, Orlando Magic HQ. Comment on episode 99, 100. Nice and simple.
That's it. Nice and easy.
All right. So enough with the commercial. I felt like that was a really big, long commercial. Enough with the commercials. Let's talk Magic basketball. So in today's episode, we're going to talk rookie ladder update. We've been kind of keeping an eye on this all season long. Ever since we saw that Franz really had a decent shot. So we're going to get into details about that, talk about the rising star selections. And I really want to jump into, first and foremost, the Cole Slam Dunk contest. So if everyone's heard, but in case you haven't, Cole Anthony has been selected to join the NBA Slam Dunk contest. Cole has had a lot of big moments in the games where he's really exploded and he's really shown his athleticism. Now, with the Slam Dunk contest, he's going up against, Obi Toppin. He's going up against, what's the other guy? Help me out, pal.
Jalen Green,
my goodness. And then the other guy that I didn't know who he was, but you know who he was because you watch more Warrior games than you should.
Juan Toscano Anderson.
That guy, and man, you pronounced that way better than I thought that you would. So what do you think about Cole's chances? Now, we've seen a little bit of Obi Toppin last year, and you weren't too fond of it based on the conversations we've had. Jalen Green was your guy before the NBA draft. What are you thinking? Cole Anthony. So first and foremost, Juan, I've done no research on this guy. I have no idea what he looks like, who he is. Is he what position does he play? Give me information. I don't know who the guy is.
So he's a power forward, and he's I think 6'9", 6'10". He's not quite as good as Obi Toppin when it comes to athleticism. So I don't think he has a shot. I don't know if they just struggle to find a fourth participant and they just kind of threw him in there. So I don't think he'll be a contender in the dunk contest. I think it comes down to Toppin, Jalen Green, and Cole Anthony. In my opinion, what the advantage is for Cole Anthony historically in the dunk contest, short guys just look better. When they get up in the air and they cock that basketball, they do a windmill, it just looks nicer when they're small and they can jump high. And Cole Anthony can do that. So I think if he can just simply make his first attempt on these dunks that he may try, that's going to be the key. If he starts missing 1, 2, 3, all of a sudden the whole air's out of the arena, that's going to go away. So I just hope that he puts on a show where he just goes in there, first attempt, whatever he's trying to do, he nails it. Jalen Green can fly. We know that. Obi Toppin is good, but I'm not impressed what he can do in the dunk contest. He's a good, I think, in-game dunker, better than he is in a dunk contest. And he won last year, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we've seen what he can do already. But I think it's going to come down to...
It was Anthony Simmons that won last year.
That's right. He was in it, though. He was in it, but he didn't win it. That's right. I think it's going to come down to Jalen Green and Cole Anthony. I think that's going to be the finals there. I'm just hoping Cole Anthony can steal it. Because imagine how cool that would be. Cole Anthony 1 year wins it. AG wins 3 years.
I think it would be wild because Cole Anthony he may be the smallest one out of the bunch, but he has the advantage because everything is just so much harder for him because he's smaller. Obi Toppin doing a windmill or between the legs of whatever variety. If Cole Anthony did the exact same dunk, Cole Anthony's dunk would look better because again he's smaller.
That's right.
I just think that how crazy would it be if Cole Anthony wins on the first try, wearing number 50, and literally Aaron Gordon 0 for 3.
Can you imagine?
How wild would that be?
And the fact that AG, you got to be honest, AG put on an amazing show every time that he except the year that he did the whole drone thing. Let's forget about that. But the other two times he joined against Levine and against Derek Jones, those were legendary dunk contests. He did an amazing job. Unfortunately, he was robbed both of those years, if you ask me. But it would be amazing if Cole Anthony goes in there and just finds a way to, first time he gets in it, he wins it, brings it to Orlando. That would be amazing. I'm really hoping that's the case. And not only that, man, we need the attention. We need the media attention. We need the fact that Orlando goes to play against, I don't know, Cleveland. And all of a sudden it's, oh, Cole Anthony won the dunk contest. He's the dunk contest champ. That just automatically goes into the media. It creates some sort of energy around the team. We need that. So I'm really hoping he pulls it off.
And really, if you're looking for, a way to be able to build your brand, you're doing it on one of the biggest stages when it comes to NBA events. Yes, the playoffs, I get it, All-Star game, but the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, it's like, if you're not a basketball fan, you're still watching.
Oh, yeah.
You look at, how that really helped Aaron Gordon and his brand, marketing himself. It's beyond. I mean, this Aaron Gordon made it on the Ellen Show. Like, this is kind of the impacts of that. And I think that Cole Anthony has a really, really big opportunity, which, I'm sure that he's excited about. If you haven't seen any of Cole Anthony's slam dunk competitions throughout high school, definitely take a moment on YouTube and look through it. Cole Anthony freestyling in a slam dunk contest competition atmosphere is pretty crazy, and I'm excited to see what he comes up with. A lot of people are saying that he's really creative, and he has a little bit of an advantage. He has Terrence Ross, who is a former slam dunk contest champion winner, so I can only imagine that they've been kind of going at it and throwing out some ideas. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to see what Cole Anthony comes out with.
Yes, sir. And one more thing, if you can make it a little bit earlier to the Magic games while they're warming up, you may catch one of those little surprise dunks that Cole Anthony tries to do in the warm-up line. So if you can make it to Amway a little early and get a little preview of a dunk contest by Cole Anthony, try to do that, because they do this little section where they do all these like crazy dunks, the young guys primarily. Cole is in that line kind of putting on a show before the games. So check that out too.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend for Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony was also selected, and good for him, man, especially after, missing out last year in the Rising Stars Challenge. But Cole Anthony, Janis Timma, and Franz Wagner have been selected for the Rising Star Challenge. This is the year that they've made adjustments to the format, so that's going to be really exciting. But how happy are you seeing that our boys got a little recognition? We're in there.
Well deserved. I mean, starting with Franz, not for nothing, but Franz to me is the guy that deserves it the most. Amazing performance all season long. We really haven't seen like a rookie slump from him just yet. I mean, he deserves it. Janis Suggs, I know he missed a couple of weeks there, 6 weeks actually, with a thumb injury. He's bounced back and looked amazing. We'll talk about his impact on the team in a few minutes. And then Cole Anthony. I know he's kind of been on a slump shooting the ball, but same thing as Suggs. His impact on the court cannot be denied. So well-deserved. These guys are going to, again, put Orlando on the map. There's no better way to do it than to be in All-Star Weekend, hopefully rocking an Orlando Magic jersey or having the logo out there. These guys are going to go through media sessions. They're going to go through hanging out with superstars in parties. Like, this is how you create that vibe, that energy in the city of Orlando. And hopefully you can recruit, a disgruntled star down the road that says, hey, they're building something nice in Orlando. I saw these kids at the All-Star Weekend. Why not give it a shot? So it's all good news for us. Really excited.
And I think that this is, again, another opportunity for marketing and exposure, especially for a player like Franz Wagner, who a lot of people, nobody was really watching him or paying attention to Franz Wagner. They're learning about him as, Franz Wagner is going on this tour where he's just whooping on every single team that he possibly can get, his hands on. But the fact that he's going to be able to really demonstrate that now on a stage where you're playing against the LaMelo Balls, Anthony Edwards, all on one court, I think it's going to be really, really interesting because, again, this is another way for Franz to put his name on the map. And it's going to be exciting, man, because, Franz he's a little bit of a monster, but Janis Suggs also. Janis Suggs, you can tell that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He knows that these players were selected before him, and he's not happy about it. So it's a good way for them to go in there, battle it out, and, make a name for themselves.
Yeah, man, it's going to be exciting. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, this past week, since we had our last episode, the Magic played against Detroit, Dallas, Chicago, and Indiana. What would you say if I told you last 4 games we would take 3 of them? Do you believe me?
It's funny. Last week we predicted 2 wins, I think, both of us. So we were not too far off. We kind of saw the team playing well the week before as well. And thankfully, he transitioned well into this week. I mean, I don't know what to do with myself. All these wins, I haven't seen this many wins in our little week in review segment in a while. But yeah, man, we won 3 out of 4, 4 out of 6, if you want to extend it a little more to the previous week. The biggest thing to me is it's honestly the ball movement, man. The Magic have been averaging 26.7 assists per game,
Crazy.
which is the 5th best in the NBA during this span. And mind you, we went back to the old starting lineup, right? We reintroduced Jalen Suggs to the starting lineup, and all of a sudden that ball is moving. The team is playing solid defense. Thankfully, again, big part to Jalen Suggs. So his impact can be seen right away. And I do want to give a big shout out to Coach Mosley, man. This guy, whatever he's doing is working. These kids will not give up. They may go down by 18, by 17. They'll find a way to chip at it, cut it to 9, cut it to 7. And all of a sudden, they're in the game. Even that loss against Chicago, we lost by 11 based on the scoreboard. But the reality is, we had that game tied with 2.5 minutes left in that game. So even the games that we're losing, we're actually fighting against top teams and making it kind of interesting. So, I mean, it's amazing to see. It's been definitely a breath of fresh air for us Magic fans that haven't really experienced this in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Suggs came back on January 14th, and since then, he's put the Magic 5-6. So, we're really seeing the impact of Jalen Suggs. So when I brought this up to my attention, or brought it up on social media, stating that, the minute that, Wendell Carter also returned to the lineup, we saw improvements from Franz Wagner. So the fact that these guys are really gelling well together is awesome to see. They're grinding, which is amazing. And even if we kind of find ourselves in a hole, we're responding to these runs that these teams are doing. A lot of it has to do with, again, these guys feeling more comfortable with each other. But, as you said, credit to Coach Mosley. Us being able to move the ball the way that we're doing, I don't care how great of players you have on your team, you don't have that kind of direction unless that's being, really preached by your coaching staff. And Coach Mosley has been, doing a really, really good job. He even talked about, kind of work ways to make sure it makes it that second contract. And these things that you want to hear from your head coach. And, you can really tell that he's received the buy-in from the players because they're listening to what he's saying. You can see that they're really fighting every single game. Even when we lose, we're not losing by a large margin. The games are close. And against teams that, they really should be beating us. Listen, we're the worst team in the NBA. But we're not the normal worst team in the NBA.
Nope.
Like we'll show up. Now, do you have a fear that this is hurting our quote unquote tank? Right now, the Magic are 1.5 games ahead of Detroit for the worst record. But are you afraid that now that we're kind of rolling a little bit, that this could hinder our draft position?
So I'm not going to change my stance on this. We've talked about it in the past, and I've been saying the same thing. As long as we finish with a top 5 worst record in the NBA, so ideally one of the bottom 5 teams, I don't mind, man. We saw what happened last year. Cleveland jumped us. Toronto jumped us. This new lottery format is not your old NBA lottery format, in which if you finish bottom 3, you were kind of guaranteed one of those top 3 spots. That's not the case anymore. Anything can happen. So honestly, as a fan, I do want to see us lose some more. But I'm not worrying about when the team is playing well and we're winning games, getting concerned. The lottery can bounce in so many different ways. So as long as I'm seeing progress, which definitely we are, we're still kind of losing some games, which the week ahead is definitely really challenging. We're going to lose some games. I'm not too concerned. And then we have such a big gap between where we are and where maybe like OKC and Indiana and those like teams that are losing a lot are. I'm not too concerned, man. If the team is playing well, they're earning these wins. Listen, that's also really good to see. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, we got Memphis, Boston, and Portland coming up. These games are going to get tougher. But you take a look at the teams that we played. Yeah, we're seeing development. We're playing better. But Detroit is a team that, in my opinion, I don't care what the record says. We're a better team than Detroit. Dallas, that's a team I expected to lose to. And we came out there and we started fighting. The Chicago game kind of hurt me a little bit. That's a game that I really wanted, especially the amount of talk that I did to other Chicago fans. I was really hoping that wasn't not necessarily a fluke, but I really wanted to win that game in Chicago. It didn't happen. It is what it is. And then I went against Indiana, they're also short-handed. I mean, as happy as I am that we got these wins, that again, that reflects on development, the team playing better. If we lost all these games and we didn't get better, then great. These young guys are getting experience, but we don't want them to get the wrong type of experience. We want them to be able, the goal is to grow, and whatever outcome comes from that, it comes from that. If you're not too invested in the NFL world, Brian Flores, which was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, that got let go, he has some allegations stating that the Dolphins front office, they're going to pay him $100,000 for every loss that they had. That is insane level of tanking. Incredible. Insane level. And I think about it, and man, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm not proud of that at all. The fact that is coming from the front office, they try to bribe the coach. So it kind of changed my view a little bit of the tanking. Like, what if in the basketball world, Alex Martins was going to give Coach Mosley $100,000 or X amount of dollars to lose as many games as possible? What does that really say about your coach? And what does that really say?
Not for nothing
about the front office.
What kind of culture are you developing? What you're creating for these young guys? We know. Let me get this right though. Don't get me wrong. The Magic are no rush to try to compete and try to win games. We know that. I don't know if they're officially tanking or they're blatantly tanking, but they're in no rush to try to win games. Again, that can be seen by the fact that Markel's still not back. MCW, with what seemed like a minor injury, still out. It's obvious to some degree. But like you're saying, you want to see this team develop. You want to see this team actually experience winning a little bit, taste what it feels like, because then that sets the standard. Hey, that feels so good. We want to get better. We want to be at that level every single night. In one example of that, let me ask you a quick question. How many players do you think in this past 11 games, so we're 5 and 6, are averaging more than 10 points a game for the Magic? So how many players do we have averaging double digits in this past 11 games? Just throw a guess out there.
I would say minimum 4, maximum 6.
We have 8 players averaging double digits right now.
All right, let me see if I can get it. Let me see.
Go ahead.
Got Franz, Jalen. Yep. We got Wendell.
Yep.
Cole. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, no.
So we got Gary Harris.
Mo Wagner. Okay, wait, hold on. Yes, Mo Wagner, Gary.
2 more.
And then 2 more. Let's put Mo Bamba.
Yep.
And then it's Chuma.
Yep. There you go. Surprisingly though, you know who's one that is not on that list, and it's actually the lowest?
Terrence
Ross, 6.1. Yeah. That was shocking to me because, again, we're winning, we're playing well, but yet Terrence is kind of not involved in what we're doing in a way. 6 points per game he's averaging this past 11 games. So all I'm trying to say is that culture of ball movement, pace and space, that's what our coach kept saying to us. Pace and space, move the ball, shoot the open shots. We're seeing it happen. The young guys are buying into it. 8 players averaging double digits, that's not easy to do. And like I said earlier, averaging over 26 assists per game over this span, that's pretty impressive development for a team that, again, was playing so poorly on the offensive end to start the year. So, again, I get tanking. I get what we're trying to accomplish. But listen, man, nothing's guaranteed. You might finish with the worst record and pick 5th. So, again, I'm letting it ride. Let's let it go. Let's just watch these games. And where we end up, we end up. Also, weren't there many Magic fans upset that, hey, another year of tanking, we're losing again, we should be competing for the playoff spot? Then what happens to tanking in that case? You're going to pick 14th, 13th. So you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? You can't want losing only, and you can't want to make the playoffs. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't. But it still feels as if, we're playing well Franz Wagner is playing well, but he's still not getting the respect that he deserves, right? So just recently, the NBA came out with the newest update for the NBA rookie ladder, and we got Franz at number 5 with Josh Giddey at 4, Scotty Barnes 3, Evan, and then Cade. Cade is number 1. Look at that.
That's the same Cade that we shut down in Orlando. He shot like 1 for 15 or whatever it was. Listen, I don't know, man. When you look at the numbers in every angle, you can look at every single stat for the past month, past weeks. Franz Wagner is not the 5th best rookie at this moment. I can tell you, okay, Evan Mobley, the Cavs are playing amazing. He deserves the credit. I understand that.
It's just crazy that this man still leads like all rookies in scoring.
And granted,
there's different aspects of what we're reviewing in terms of the rookie ladder, and a lot of people could say, well, it has a lot to do with winning. If that's the case, why do we have Cade at number 1 with Detroit?
Yep.
Why?
And not for nothing. We are winning. This gets updated every week. It did not get updated from last week to this week. He's still 5th. I'm like, how? We went 4-2. Franz has been a key part of the winning, consistent scoring. It is what it is, man. The only way Franz is going to get the recognition that he deserves is if he puts up another 38 points, another 40 points. And like it has to be something crazy.
But that's overdrive work. None of these guys are doing that. I think Cade maybe had a 30-plus game.
I think so. A triple-double for sure.
I don't know. And then I think about big names. And do we consider Josh Giddey a big name?
No. He's putting up like this triple-double type of numbers where he's finishing with like 11 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds every game. But then again, man, I don't know. That's like Russell Westbrook numbers to me. Like, yeah, it looks great. Triple-double alert every night. But like again, does that impact winning? They're losing a whole bunch of games. So to your point originally, if winning is important, we won more than OKC this past week. So I cannot understand that. I really don't understand how they're ranking these players. If it's by winning, if it's by scoring, then Franz should be higher.
Yeah, I mean my rookie ladder, if I'm looking at it being 100% truthful and honest with it, I would put Evan Mobley number 1. Cleveland's playing crazy. He has a really major part into that. I would put Franz 2, then Scotty, then Cade, then Josh Giddey. That's what I would put. That would be
I agree 100%.
List. That would be my list, and I would say don't touch it, leave it alone. Now, in other news, the Orlando Magic. This is awesome to see. Which is, I have a couple questions. All right, so Janis Timma has signed back with the Lakeland Magic, which is great because if you remember, this was a blonde-haired tattooed guy that drove around in a Lamborghini and is married to some crazy celebrity person from his country, and made a lot of noise in the summer league games, which is awesome. If you remember, this was a player that came in from a trade from Luke Ridnour from the Rob Hennigan era. And we finally was able to get him to join the team, and he played okay, but we didn't hear from him since. Now it looks like we brought him into the Lakeland Magic, which is great because this is someone that was a fan favorite. But I have questions. So, 1, how excited are you about this, or is it indifferent? And 2, why now? Why not when we were missing players left and right with health and safety protocols when people were actually playing? Like, why this long? There's only X amount of games left.
I think the timing is really interesting. I know he was not playing for his team internationally. I know he was not playing the last, I think, 2 months. But the timing is really interesting. And I've heard a few different theories around this, whether it is that the Magic might trade multiple players at the deadline and have a need to fill up the roster with some G League guys initially, or maybe for the rest of the season. Who knows? And I've also heard the fact that they may want to just give him a look again after the trade deadline and maybe call him up and see how he does against NBA talent. But it's interesting because, like you said, he had a chance to sign for the whole season, maybe a 2-way contract, maybe start in Lakeland and then get called up, and that didn't quite happen. So it's interesting. I'm kind of indifferent because I don't know if we're really going to see him with the NBA team anytime soon. I hope that we do because we've wanted to see him with the NBA team. But it's interesting. I cannot quite put my fingers as to why now and what the vision is. How about you? What are your thoughts on why he's here now?
I prefer him over Iggy. I mean, if we're talking about if we're not using that two-way contract in terms of development, which I don't feel like we've had for a really long time, he is someone that is at least somewhat familiar with the team and the players, and Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, during the summer league, Suggs and Franz as well. And I feel like he's 29 years old, and he's someone that could be at least that veteran role. May not be the best player on the team, but he's going to go out there and he's going to hustle. A lot of people have already kind of tagged him as the villain, an enforcer type, and you can't have too many of those.
Nope.
On a team. Why not? So I don't know, man. I think it's definitely a good move. He's clearly a fan favorite. He has the appeal. And give him a shot, man. If you are making these moves, I would rather us bring up from the Lakeland, as much as I like, the players that we have on there. Bring in a vet, someone that's a little older and can really do some of the things that, from a different perspective, can really help and highlight to, our younger guys, whether it's doing the little things, whereas, being a little more physical, whatever the case may be. But I definitely like the idea. I like the fact that we brought him back. And I think that, depending on what ends up happening February 10th, there's definitely going to be a lot of positives from it.
So I'm going to play a off-script pass or shoot here. So do we see, actually, I'm going to rephrase that question. We will see Janis Timma with the Magic before the end of the season. Pass or shoot?
I think so.
You're
I think so. At least one game, right? Minimum one.
I think we see him, especially if we trade.
I think it'd be kind of It would be kind of messed up. Like we got this dude from across the country, and we're not going to at least give him at least one. Yeah. Nah, in order for him to, like, just from my perspective, putting myself in his shoes, I'm going to fly all the way out here back into the States, try my hand at getting into the league again, with a team that gave me a little exposure already. There had to have been some type of conversation of some sort.
For sure.
I haven't looked at what the contracts would look like, so I would imagine that international they would be getting paid more than in the G League.
For sure.
So I think so. I think so for sure. I think we see him at least one game.
Me too. I think he either fills up that two-way contract, or some way, somehow, we end up calling him up, maybe signing him to a minimum contract for the rest of the year. But if you do trade Terrence Ross and Gary Harris, you will need some older guys in the roster, and I think that's kind of where he may come in and kind of play that role. So we'll see. Definitely interesting for sure.
Yeah, happy to see Timma back. Let's see what ends up happening with that.
Oh yeah.
And then back in October of 2020, we had discussed an article that came out saying the Orlando Magic have hired legends to sell a new naming rights for the Amway Center, and it's because the Amway Center agreement ends in 2022. So this year, Amway has been the team's naming rights sponsor since the arena opened in 2010. And last year signed a $4.6 million annual renewal that runs through June 2022. So that means this June, naming rights is up. Are you really thinking that we are going to have a new name for our arena? Is it no longer going to be the Amway Center? We're coming close.
It seems that way. It seems that way simply because, I mean, why would you go to the extent of hiring an outside firm to do all this work, pay them all the millions of dollars to again get you the best deal possible, and then go back with Amway? Unless Amway overpays and says, "Hey, we're enjoying being the name of the arena. We want to stay." But I wouldn't be surprised if one of these random crypto companies that keep naming every single arena in the NBA now finds a way to.
Crypto for Orlando. Here's the thing when it comes to Amway. Amway was founded by Richard DeVos. So they got a little insider. Like, it's not just maybe we don't feel like doing anymore. Homie, it's your team. Not him. Richard's obviously no longer with us, but the family at least has some type of insight. They would have to know. So it's clear that if they did hire a firm, then they're definitely going to change the name. Yeah.
I think my odds would be more like 70-30 at this point, that we will see a new arena name for the next season. And then again, isn't the practice facility opening up in spring of this year? So you're going to have the new practice facility.
Advent Health.
Yep. You're going to have the new arena name possibly for next season, a new brand new rookie, hopefully top 3 so I can tell you guys, it might be a fun season next year for our Magic fans.
Why can't we just go to it's old school. Why give it like a marketing name? Just go back to calling it the Arena and call it a day.
It's all about money, man. Just like those jersey patches. Money. It's all about money.
That's right. All right, man. So, I mean, interesting stuff. February 10th is right around the corner. Again, please don't forget 100th giveaway, 3 winners. Go on to the 99 episode on YouTube. Leave that 100 comment in the comment field for your chance to win either a jersey, 2 lower bowl tickets, and a chance to join us on an episode. This week ahead, we are playing Saturday against the Memphis Grizzlies, followed by Boston on Sunday, Portland on Tuesday, and then a trade deadline February 10th.
Interesting week, man. Do you see any wins this week ahead?
I like our chances against Portland. But Memphis, they've been playing really, really good basketball. So interesting to see. And I feel like Boston is just, man, they
have our number.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't stop Brown and Tatum at the same time. It's too much for us to handle, I think, right now. The only game I see, like you, is Portland. And then after that, we go to Utah and Phoenix. So it doesn't get any better. And I think Denver after that. So this next 2 weeks, I'm not seeing many wins. And don't forget, like you said earlier, trade deadline is next Thursday. So right after these games, our team may be really young. So we got to see how things look at that point. But like you, I'm going to go with 1 win out of the next 3. That's the best case scenario, I think.
All right, let's see what happens. February 10th. We'll talk to you guys then. That's a wrap. Catch y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to the OZone Podcast, the voice of Magic fans. For all the latest Orlando Magic news and updates, follow us on Twitter at the Ozone Pod and on Instagram at Orlando Magic HQ. Remember to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on all your favorite podcast listening platforms.